series finale of Merlin. What's up, Scoops? My name is Changu and this is My Life After Breakfast. Today we are talking about the series finale of Merlin, my last Merlin video, and the last episode of Merlin ever. So sad. Before we go any further, as always with my Merlin videos, this video is full of spoilers. So if you have not seen the finale yet and you don't want anything spoiled for you, peace out, go watch it and come back. However, if you have seen the episode or if you don't care if anything's spoiled for you, then let's go. First thing I loved right off the bat is the tension that they set up with Merlin running for the battlefield and King Arthur at the forefront attacking, and when the fight comes to the tent, there's Guinevere knocking it out and taking care of business. Again, I absolutely loved Owen Mac in this episode. He was so great. I loved how much it hurt Gwen to think that Arya was a spy and how much it hurt to have to hand her over. Of course, we all look at Gwen as like this, swashbuckling, like one step away from being a pirate ladies man guy. But when he actually gets a long-term chick in the show, he's like in love with her that fast. I love that. And I also absolutely loved when Gwen figured it out on her own, who the sorcerer was, that it was Merlin, and that she had no qualms about trusting him. Of course she trusts him, it's Merlin. He has magic, great, he's gonna be able to protect Arthur better. I loved that. I loved seeing that with all of her ruthlessness, Morgana was still motherly towards Mordred. In a moment when she thought he was kind of surrounded, she took care of business. I have never before in any episode of this entire show felt like she was more lost than in this episode, especially after Mordred dies. But just the whole thing of Mordred dying, she is just done from there on. Which is why later on for me, I was not upset by her death. I was just kind of like, it's time. And I also think the ease with which Merlin finally killed her shows how much he's been holding back all this time, thinking that she was worth saving, thinking that she could be saved, thinking that if he just got there one moment earlier, talked to her in a little different way, he was totally going to be able to save her at some point. But in this episode, like I said, she seemed that much more lost, that much more of, there's no coming back from this place that she's gone to, finally. The moment of the actual stabbing when prophecy becomes real and Mordred mortally wounds King Arthur. Insane moment. I loved that Arthur hesitated. I hated that Mordred did not hesitate. Just because he's mad, like I get why he's mad, but his reaction to that is so juvenile, which is another thing that struck me with this two-shot right here of Arthur coming back to stab Mordred. It struck me because, Alexander Vlahos is probably one of their younger cast members, but his character is also one of the youngest people on the show. To see the difference in ages in that moment, to see how young Mordred is and how young all of his choices have been, how juvenile they've been. So angry at one person that you turn tail and seek destruction of an entire kingdom because you're mad about one event. And yes, she was the love of his life, 100%. But so was Freya for Merlin. Mordred 100% believed that Morgana was wrong and Arthur was right. And then with Kara's death, he runs to Morgana. And then, as I mentioned in the last video, he looked completely and utterly disturbed by a lot of the things that Morgana was doing. But he was still so mad that he couldn't go back. And I feel like that was part of why Mordred smiled in that moment, that he couldn't go back and he didn't necessarily want to be where he was. He was just kind of letting his anger fuel him, and I feel like he just felt like everything was coming to an end and this is just the best possible way to, go out. Even though that smile was so incredibly creepy and sad. The magic reveal. Honestly, that I loved and hated at the exact same time. I loved that it finally happened. I hated how rushed it felt. Like I said in previous videos, they're waiting for the end because if they do it any earlier, then people will peace out and not watch any of the rest of the show. So they do it in the season finale and they leave Arthur with no choice but to rely on a sorcerer who's been lying to him for the past 10 years. So he absolutely has to deal with his feelings about the subject and gets to a point where he eventually forgives Merlin and accepts him as the person he is, magic and all. Merlin finally getting a thank you for all of his previously thankless acts of saving the kingdom and saving Arthur and saving Uther and saving Morgana and saving Guinevere and saving everybody in that whole frickin' town several times and never getting a thank you except a nice little bit of banter and his favorite dinner from Gaius. But to get a thank you from Arthur, the person he was doing it for, you could see on his face it was huge. Beautiful job, boys. More beautiful bits there. The scenes where he was actually sending him off. I was literally like a paparazzo. Like, I'm just gonna show you like a series of photos that I took. Colin Morgan, beautiful in those last moments of carrying Arthur to his rest. So sad. I have a very short rant because apparently I had a lot to say about the rest of it. I want to know why exactly. We got a whole bunch of press releases in October and end of September saying if you guys watch it with a whole bunch of millions of your friends, then there's a possibility for a season 6. Especially when we know that that final scene of Colin and Morgan walking down the road with the truck and passing Avalon and everything, that stuff was already shot in like June. So it was definitely the end. It was definitely the end. So why exactly were they telling us, oh, there's a possibility if you just watch it and have everybody else watch it so that we know that you guys like it, we might be there. It's like, no. By then, Colin Morgan was already probably signed to be doing a play during the entire time that they would be taping season 6. So why were they saying that? I find that so incredibly rude. That just made me really, really mad. And I know that some people said that the actual last scene made them angry. He's been walking the earth for over 1,500 years, which makes me super sad for him, not angry that that's the way that the show ends. But I'm just mad that they were like saying that it's gonna be a different thing than it was. Why exactly were they like, oh, maybe we'll have season 6, you never know? Obviously we weren't. Stop lying. Anger face, in case you didn't notice. Anyway, anger face is over. Thank you guys so much for watching. Anger. Please remember to like, favorite, and subscribe, like the sign says. Also, please check out my obsession of the week. I know it's been like 5 months, but I'm still kind of obsessed with them because they're hilarious. The Live Awkward Girls. Watch my previous video. And my Hipster Chicken, goodbye, because Hipster Chicken is over. So sad. And I think I'm gonna have a link over here for The Real Changu channel, my vlog channel, somewhere over here, for probably right here, on my face, click on my face, to figure out where I've been for the last 4 months, because 5 months, I guess, because it's been a whirlwind. Love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow with more videos. Yay! Bye.